every night. I locked every door. But in the morning, one room always looked slightly wrong. My name's Jeremy, 38. I work remotely as a graphic designer. Mostly logos and app layouts. Nothing dramatic. Just a regular guy with a quiet job and a preference for decaf. Last month, I moved into a modest 2-bedroom apartment on the edge of town. It wasn't anything special. White walls, beige carpet, a balcony that faced a parking lot. But it had space and light. Most importantly, it was quiet. The second bedroom I turned into a small studio. Desk, shelves, a futon folded against the wall. I rarely used it, just stored some books and gear there. First time I noticed something was off. It was minor. I had a black leather notebook I always left on the left side of the desk. One morning, it was on the right. I blamed myself. Maybe I moved it and forgot. A few days later, I noticed the window blind was halfway drawn when I knew I'd left it fully open. Again, maybe the light was off, but the shadow under the door didn't look like it was cast from the hallway behind me. It looked like something tall had just moved inside. I opened the door quickly. The room was empty. Everything was still. But the futon was unfolded. I stared at it. I hadn't touched that thing in weeks. I folded it back up, turned off the light, and shut the door. I started keeping track after that. Took a picture of the room every night before bed. Same angle, same lighting. And every morning, something was different. A shelf would have one less book. A pen cup moved. A faint line across the carpet, like something heavy had been dragged. There was no sign of a break-in. No strange sounds in the night. No smells. No messages. No flickering lights. Just objects slightly out of place. But it wasn't random. The movements formed a pattern. I compared photos side by side, like those spot the difference games. It was as if something invisible was redesigning the room, one tiny piece at a time. By the end of the second week, the desk was angled. The futon unfolded again. The shelf was pushed slightly left. The scariest part? I never heard a sound. One night, I decided to stay up. Not in the room, just near enough. I sat on the couch in the living room with a clear view of the hallway. Phone in hand, eyes on the studio door. At 2:13 a.m., I saw it. The light turned on by itself. Just a soft click, like someone had gently flicked the switch. I stood up slowly. My pulse in my ears. The hallway was dead quiet. I stepped closer, The light under the door wasn't flickering. It was steady. But the air felt thick, like the hallway had grown smaller, heavier. I knocked. No answer. I opened the door. The futon was folded again. Everything was reset, exactly as it had been in the first photo I took. Not like I'd arranged it the day before. Like how it looked when I first moved in. I closed the door. The next morning, everything was changed. Back to the previous, rearranged version. The angled desk. The shelf pushed left. The pen cup turned slightly, as if the room didn't like being reset. I stopped sleeping well after that. The rest of the apartment remained normal, untouched, but I avoided the second room. I didn't even open the door anymore. 2 nights ago, I heard a new sound. Breathing. Not from inside the room. From behind the door. Not heavy, just faint. Shallow. Like someone standing perfectly still, holding their breath until I got close. When I opened it, silence. I left the apartment yesterday. Didn't cancel the lease. Didn't pack. Just left. I'm writing this from a motel 2 towns over. The lights are always on. I keep my bag packed. I don't use closets. But this morning, when I got up to brush my teeth, the towel I hung on the door was gone. I found it folded neatly on the edge of the bathtub.